A little something for the weekend with Sam Hunt.
A little something for Christmas with Sam Hunt. G'day, Sam.
Good morning, Whammo. How are you?
Very well. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. I've said before, I think if I was Christ, I would have had my name taken out and been quite happy with the X. Have nothing to do with it. I remember as a kid, we were told it was very bad to write Xmas because taking Christ's name out of it, but really... But having said that, happy Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say that after last week, I did some poems of Geoffrey Paparoa Holman.
Yeah.
From especially that wonderful poem about his old man, as big as a father. Well, he's sent me his 3 latest books, including one with the title, which gives the title poem, As Big as a Father, and these 2 other ones, just mention them, by Geoffrey Paparoa Holman. There's one called Flyboy, based on his obvious obsession or love for the old warplanes. It's an amazing, it's a collection of poems, but the one that really grabbed me is they're all published by Steele Roberts, I think. It's called The Late Great Blackball Bridge Sonnets. And anyone who likes good poems, and particularly with all the tragedy of the Pike Stream and the Pike Mine. In fact, I was looking up yesterday on the Googler machine. I was looking up a lot of the photographs of the Brunner Mine disaster. Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
You know, just numbing. You know, there's a photograph. You may have seen it's quite a famous photograph, but it's at the open grave where 33 of the almost 70 people who were killed in the Brunner Mine, and they buried 33 of them in this massive grave, and the whole town standing around looking down. It's just mind-blowing stuff. Yeah, I mean, that people could actually survive. I say it's mind-blowing in the sense that people could actually survive it and come out as, in some cases, as still as human beings, you know?
Yeah.
And so thank you very much, Geoffrey Paparoa Holman, and happy Christmas to him. And yesterday we did, Alf and I, we had to go to do our Christmas shopping, and I'll tell you what, we did it. So we left here at sunup, got into Whangarei, the bright lights of Whangarei.
Braved it. You put on the war armour.
Well, you know, because it gets so hot up there and you can't get a park, and of course we got the truck, which is sort of takes up 2 car parks.
Yeah.
And but we got in there at 9:15, parked right almost as close as you can get a vehicle to the centre of town, but just sitting there at park, because no one had arrived yet. And when I was getting stuff for Alf, you know, cheapskates, and Just Jeans and things like that, and we were out of town. We were out of town by 10 o'clock, and one of my poems I'd like to tell today is not one by me. It's a poem by a poet that I love, and I know that some of the listeners know his poems too. Is the great American poet E.E. Cummings.
Oh, yeah.
Famous for, well, actually, he started writing everything in lowercase a long time before anyone was sort of, back in the 1920s, it was considered ridiculous, but I love his poems, and the simplicity of them, and, well, you know, and as Dennis Glover used to say, you know, always remember the hardest poems to write are the simple ones. It's a hell of a lot harder to say it simply. Anyway, driving out of Whangarei yesterday with Alf, bouncing along the truck, along the back roads, coming back to the Kaipara, a poem of E. Cummings started jogging through my head again. I thought, oh, shit, I must check that out when I get home. And you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to dedicate the saying of this poem. They probably won't be listening because they'll be working in their shops, opening their doors, but the shopkeepers in these places. They're struggling, you know, they struggle. I went to the good little record shop in Whangarei yesterday. I've been to get some CDs. Most towns you go into in New Zealand now, there isn't even a record shop.
No. They're a dying breed.
I said, how's it going? He said, well, it hasn't happened much, you know, and so on. But really good, great stuff. Anyway, to the shopkeepers, the people who, I don't know how they survive it, I'd like to dedicate this poem of E. Cummings, which doesn't even have a title, which is even better. But it's dedicated to all of them. Anyone lived in a pretty town with up so floating many bells down, spring, summer, autumn, winter. He sang as didn't, he danced as did. Women and men, both little and small, cared for anyone, not at all. They sowed their isn't, they reaped their same. Sun, moon, stars, rain. Children guessed, but only a few, and down they forgot as up they grew. Autumn, winter, spring, summer, that no one loved him more by more, when by now and tree by leaf she laughed his joy, she cried his grief. Bird by snow and stir by still, anyone's any was all to her. Someone's married their everyone's, laughed their cryings and did their dance, sleep, wake, hope, and then they said their nevers, they slept their dream. Stars, rain, sun, moon, and only the snow can begin to explain how children are apt to forget to remember, with up so floating many bells down. One day anyone died, I guess, and no one stooped to kiss his face. Busy folk buried them side by side, little by little, and was by was, all by all, and deep by deep, and more by more they dream their sleep. No one and anyone earth by April, wish by spirit, and if by yes, women and men both dong and ding, summer, autumn, winter, spring, reap their sowing, and went there came, sun, moon, stars, rain.
Oh, beautiful, wonderful.
Isn't it a beautiful poem?
Yeah.
E. Cummings. So, with all the shopkeepers, anyone lived in a pretty how town with up so floating many bells down. It was although we're out of town, I mean, I could see as we were driving down, I saw a couple of people who come from our part of the Cape were going, we passed them and they were going into town and we were heading home. Much better.
Yeah. Yeah, you did very well to get out of there by 10.
Oh, what? We head down to a fine art. This was a military manoeuvre. So what are you doing at Christmas, Wemo?
We got a bit of a family Christmas. First time sort of around my house, all centred around my house. But it's not. I mean, it's not a full distant relatives or anything like that coming from the four corners. No, it's a bit sort of more tight, sort of mum and dad and grandma and good.
Yeah,
it's going to be nice.
We both, Alf and I, noticed on the radio. Alf commented on it. They were talking on the news or somebody from some social agency, and they're talking about the increase in violence at Christmas time, and they said because of the consumption of alcohol and of families getting together.
It's probably one of the most stressful times of the year. I think is right up there with moving. And deaths in the family, that kind of thing.
Well, in my case, I've spent the last 5 Christmas days on my own in Cistercian silence. But tomorrow I am going down the Salt River, down the Arapawa, to some friends' old fishing family, and we're going down there, and we'll have a good time. We're going down about mid-afternoon. Before I finish, I'd like to leave with a little poem. It's actually one that I wrote, but it doesn't really matter who wrote it. But it's sort of a bit like celebrating the shopkeepers of Whangarei. Well, this is sort of maybe, if you like, celebrating the people of small town and big town New Zealand. And I've said it before, I don't know whether I've said it on this program, but it's a poem I feel like saying for Christmas. It's called That Feeling of Being in the Country. When you stop at some small country town and some local, after you've complimented them on their town, says, "We like it, it's a good community," you think of that group of people, or maybe that should be that bunch of people, for whom this place is town, Reparoa, say, everyone creating their own sort of light, throwing it out their kind of way. And you think of that community and the communion of saints. I never felt less like wearing dark glasses than in Reparoa this morning. So that's one for Reparoa and the rest of New Zealand, and very happy Christmas to everyone. And I'm sorry I'm not the Queen, but if I were the Queen, my royal message would be give it lots of charm, charge, and charmed.
Perfect.
Okay?
Sam, thanks very much for 2010. We'll catch you in the new year.
Oh, look, thanks, Wamo. All the very best to you.
See ya. Bye.
See ya.